Hello and welcome to this episode of Mission Snapshot. As you can see, things are a little different. Sharon is not here talking to you, but I am. And Hannah is not on the computer today. Madison is on the computer, and she is still there to drop links and respond to your comments and questions. So please feel free to continue to do that as we share today. But Hannah is actually here with me in the studio, and she's the one going to be sharing a story with us today. So we are so happy to have her. And what will you be sharing with us?
So today we'll be talking about the Sharon family, who are missionaries in Thailand.
And those, the Sharon family are really close to your heart. Why is that?
So actually, Lisa Sharon, who is the mom of the family, is my mom's first cousin.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so we're actually related. I never got to meet them until last year when I started working with Jesus for Asia, because they always lived too far away, but it was really cool to be able to get to know that side of my family better.
Awesome. So they're your family. How exciting to share about them.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and tell us about the Sharon family.
Okay. So the Sharon family are missionaries in Thailand, as I said. They work up in the mountains, in the jungle, in the jungle with the Karen people.
Okay.
So they're tribal people who are originally from Burma, but a lot of them have had to come to Thailand as refugees. So they work with the Karen people, and they have been in Thailand for about 11 years now.
Okay. So long-term missionaries then.
Yeah, long-term missionaries. So they started out, their oldest son, they have 4 boys, and their oldest son went on a short-term mission trip, and when he saw the need there with the Karen people, you know, being kicked out of their own home really, and all of that, you know, he really wanted to stay. And so he stayed with them, and so then his 2 younger brothers also came, and then finally his parents came.
So he recruited the whole family to come help.
Yeah, and so now the family has grown. Some of them have gotten married and had children, and the Sharons have also adopted 6 young girls from Thailand, even starting from the beginning of their time there.
Oh, cool.
And 3 of them are now either living with them or really close by.
Okay. So their family grew while they were there. That seems to be the theme I'm hearing from our mission families, is that they don't stick to themselves, they add.
Yeah, so that's been really cool. So they each kind of do different things.
Okay.
And so they've each taken their ministry kind of as like to their own and made it theirs, which I think is really cool. So Leroy is the dad, and he's been teaching English, and also Bible to young people there. A lot of them don't have super good opportunities for education, and so he wanted to like share that with them as a way kind of making friends. Yeah. And so he would teach them like through Bible stories, which is really cool. And so right now he's got some students who he's been working with for a long time to train them as Bible workers. And so he's been teaching them more English and more about the Bible so that they can share it with others, which is really cool. Good. And Lisa, she is trained as a paramedic. Okay. And so she runs a small jungle clinic. And so she'll help people with whatever medical needs they have, and she's not a doctor, so she doesn't know you know everything, but she knows a lot of natural remedies as well. And so whenever she has concerns and she doesn't know what to do to help people, she always prays about it, and God always provides. And she's got some pretty incredible miracle stories. Which she shares some of, I think, on her Jesus for Asia Now episode.
Oh, nice.
So we'll have a link for that, I think, so people can watch some of her stories. They're really, really, truly inspiring.
Yeah, Madison will make sure to drop a link for the Jesus for Asia Now show with Lisa sharing, and so you guys can hear some of her amazing stories. I'm sure she's probably learned a lot just being in the field. So taking her basic knowledge and then just having to be practical with it, she's probably gained a lot of knowledge just out in the field.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And so, as I said, they have 4 sons. 2 of them are still in Thailand.
Okay.
And so the middle son, Jason, who is on the far right side of the picture with his wife and 2 kids. So he is a mechanic, and so he helps a lot with the villagers' needs, repairing their vehicles and their tractors and stuff. And they also help farm stuff for providing food for those who don't have enough.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so the Sharons also do that as well. They always share everything that they have, which
That's
is
wonderful.
Yeah, really cool. So when the Sharons started out living in Thailand, they lived in a house kind of like this, a bamboo house like the villagers.
Okay.
And it's very different from the way that we normally live. You know, they didn't have electricity, they didn't have running water, you know, a lot of the amenities that they have. But what was really important to them was getting to know the villagers and building relationships with them. And the best way to do it is to show them that we're the same. We're not better than you just because we're Americans.
Right.
We can live just like you do, and so they've been able to like make friends and connections because they've not raised themselves above the people but are living like them. And eventually, because of legal reasons, they did have to build a more permanent house.
Okay.
And so that's this picture, and it's really God blessed, and it's become a really beautiful space, not just for them to use, but for them to, you know, to have a place to gather with the villagers, and for Lisa's clinic so that she can have a space to take care of people who are in need. And it's been really cool for them to have that now, and God has like grown their ministry so much and provided for them. And actually a really cool story that about their property where they live, it actually was supposed to be cursed.
Oh, wow.
And so nobody wanted to live there. They're like, if you live on this place, you're gonna die or something really bad is gonna happen to you. But obviously, you know, we don't believe in curses like that, and we believe that God is more powerful than curses like that. And so they're like, okay, we'll just move here anyway. And, you know, this can be a witness to the villagers of God's protection, and indeed it has been. The villagers thought that they were all crazy, but nothing bad has happened to them since moving there. So that's been really a huge witness.
It is amazing. The idea of believing in curses or, you know, just evil spirits or whatever is so much more prevalent in Asian countries than here. So to us that sounds silly, like, oh, it's cursed, you know, whatever, but that's like a real belief for them. They are genuinely afraid of things like that. So it's amazing that you know, missionaries can come in and show God is so much bigger than all of these fears, and if he let us here, he's going to bless, and to show that is amazing.
Yeah, it's been really cool. And also, I think I forgot to mention, Travis is their youngest son. So he's also the other son who is still in Thailand.
Still in there. Okay.
And so he also works with the Karen people, but in a different part. And he originally had a school for young children in Burma. He was actually over the Myanmar border. But he had to close down the first school because of some issues with locals and the government. But now he has just found some property to start a new school a little bit further south, but still kind of working with the same people in the same situation, and teaching them English and teaching them basic skills and basic education that will help them in their lives, as well as teaching them about God and how much he loves them, which is really
wonderful. What a great ministry. So where is he in the process of starting his another school?
So the last we heard, they were getting ready to purchase property where they could start building. So I don't know if they've actually gone through with that yet. But,
So potentially have the property, and then they still have to build the school and then get it started. Okay. That's awesome that he's able to help in that way. It sounds like they have their hands in so many different areas and so many different ways to help the people. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. I think a quote that really, I think, showcases the mission of their family. It's an Ellen White quote from Adventist Home. And so it says, if families would locate in the dark places of the earth, places where people are enshrouded in spiritual gloom, and let the light of Christ's life shine out through them, a great work might be accomplished. Let them begin their work in a quiet and obtrusive way.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely a good quote.
Yeah, so they picked up their lives in the United States and they carried it to use their lives and their relationship with God as a witness to the people, the current people. So
Nice.
That's been really cool.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I actually got to visit them this March.
Oh, nice.
Or February, actually.
February.
Yeah, with some friends. And that was a really amazing experience. And I think I learned a lot more about what it's like to be a missionary and to be a witness for God. And I think sometimes they said that things don't always happen as quickly as they would like.
Right.
You know, people aren't always as open as they wish they would be to hear the gospel. But sometimes things take time. And so, you know, they've talked about, you know, how much they try to take every opportunity that they can to serve the people and show God to them, and also to like focus on their own relationships with God. So I think that's like a really cool step that we can all take, you know,
Yes.
as Christians and, you know, missionaries in our own locations, is to really focus on getting closer to God so that we can let our light shine.
I agree with that. I think that, again, is another theme I've seen with all of the mission stories and the families that we've spoken with. They, like, their own lives have been blessed maybe in ways even more than they're blessing others. And they've seen God work in themselves more than they ever could have imagined. I mean, you go and you think, oh, I'm here for these people, but really you're there so God can work through you and in you. And so it's quite amazing. It's a wonderful experience and a wonderful thing to understand and see.
Yeah, it is really incredible. So I also got to go into the Karen village that is closest to where they're working. And so I just have like a couple of stories to share from that, just to kind of give people a better idea about the need that still exists with the Karen people. Even though there are people, missionaries working with them, there's still a huge need. And so the man in this picture, they call him the friendly grandpa because he's always really helpful to them and he talks to them and stuff like that, and he'll give them things. And so when we came to his house, we weren't expecting anything, but he offered to give us bags of these wild sesame that he had grown as a gift, which was super sweet. We didn't go expecting gifts or anything.
Right, and they don't have much, so for him to be so willing to give is a testament, I think, to the influence around him.
Yeah, and so we were all thinking like, wow, this is super sweet. But then another lady who had come following us into the house, they're very social, and so their houses are very open to their neighbors and visitors and stuff. So this other lady came in to, you know, see what we were talking about and stuff like that. And so as he was giving us these gifts, she kind of like nudged him and whispered to him, he's like, hey, there's a wedding this weekend, which we don't see as a big deal, but to them, they have this superstition that if you give away gifts before a wedding, that something bad will happen to you.
Oh no.
and so the lady convinced him to take back his gifts.
Take them back,
because it was going to be bad, not just for him personally, but for the whole village if he were to give away gifts.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, if it were any other time, he could.
Right.
From talking with the Sharon family, they were seeming to think he probably would have given them to us anyway, because he's not super strong believing in the superstitions, but because he's an elder in the village, he kind of has to follow,
be an example.
To the rest of the village.
Yeah.
And so he's had a difficult time, and a lot of the villagers have had a difficult time kind of giving up these superstitions because both of personal fear and of just their reputation within the village.
Right.
So we met another lady also, a grandma. I can't quite remember what her name was, but she, in this picture, is chewing betel nut, which is kind of like tobacco.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that they have kind of an issue with. It's really not healthy.
Right.
But that's another one of those kind of habits that they struggle kind of to give up, because that's just how they're taught is okay.
Right.
And these people have a lot of potential. They can be very intelligent. They're excellent weavers, but there's certain things that keep them from kind of reaching that potential.
Yes.
And so, they wear bracelets and strings on their wrists that kind of show to protect them from spirits, and they build little altars with small dead animals to kind of protect them and give offerings so that they can, kind of appease whatever might be trying to attack them. And Jesus really wants to give us freedom from those kinds of superstitions because he can protect us from all of the, the bad things that might happen to us. He can protect us from spirits like that who really want to harm them,
right?
Yeah. And so, so there still is a really huge need in these villages, and the Sharon family is starting to see a few people who are interested in learning more, and who are being more accepting of their help and being more friendly to them and stuff like that. But a lot of them are really, really struggling with giving up these things that that they have made such a part of themselves and of their culture.
Yeah.
And so, and we obviously, there's parts of culture that are okay, but those things aren't helpful for them and don't help them to live their best lives. And so, so she was really, Lisa, in her last email that she sent, was saying, these people really need a lot of prayer. That they will choose, that they'll make a decision for Jesus and be willing to actually follow through.
Right.
And so if we could all keep them in our prayers, that would be
absolutely
a huge blessing.
That's the biggest part of mission work in general, is you can share and share and share and share. But, the Holy Spirit has to convict, do the conviction in their hearts for them to understand that it is a better way, and it's okay to give up all of these things that they've been taught all their lives, that their grandparents have been taught, that their great-grandparents have been taught. And that's hard to give those things up, if it's a physical thing or just a mental belief, that is very difficult. So we definitely will continue to pray for them and the people there, that they will have that conviction. And I'm sure once it starts, it'll just domino effect through the villages, and people will see that it's better. So, well, thank you so much for sharing about the Sharon family and their work in Thailand. It's amazing, all of the things that they've been able to accomplish, and God has definitely used all of their talents and spread them out to help as many as possible. So that is wonderful to see. If you guys have enjoyed this story and want to learn more, please visit our website, JesusForAsia.org, and you can look at, you can go to the donate page to view all of the Sharon family, what they are doing, as well as all of our other projects that we have going on right now, and you can learn how you can help or how you can pray for them. They all need prayer so that God's light can shine through them. And we just thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about this show or hear more about Jesus for Asia and you have YouTube, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, like us on Facebook, and you will get updates as to when the next shows are coming up and other events that we might be doing. So we just thank you so much for being with us today. This has been your Mission Snapshot.